you can see that little contraction is just a bodily sensation, isn't it? There's nothing more to it than just a bodily sensation. In the same way that, maybe, I've been out gardening and I got a sort of tingling in my fingers there because I was stung by some nettles. So that's a bodily sensation also. So bodily sensations, that's part of the subtle body. So the totality of all of your bodily sensations will include that little contraction, but it will include all the tingling in your fingers and your toes, and maybe a bit on your shoulders and your back and anywhere. So some of those sensations will be just kind of naturally occurring. They're just part of how the body mind works. They're just generated automatically. Some have a specific cause, like your slight tension there, and like my tingling just there. Very, very specific causes. Others don't. For some people, they might have a backache or a knee ache from some arthritis or something like that. But even if a person is completely fit, is not fearful in any way, hasn't been stung by nettles, there still will be some bodily sensations arising, and the totality of that is the subtle body. Now, how does it relate to the physical body? Well, there are different perspectives on that. One perspective is the third person perspective, and that's the perspective of science. Basically, and science says that, well, there's a brain and there are neurons and firing in the brain, various neurotransmitters operating also in the brain, and these are connected to a nervous system which runs throughout our bodies, and so that's a reasonable scientific explanation, and it explains all sorts of things that go on in our body, and it enables doctors to find solutions to things that are happening in our bodies. So it's very useful from that point of view. Now there's another point of view, and that is the direct experiential point of view. So that's the first person experience, as it were. Now, the first person experience of your subtle body is, as we've said, the sum total of all of the bodily sensations that are going on right now. The first person experience of your physical body, well, you can see a bit of it. So I can see my hand. I can't see my face except the picture on my computer, so it's not a very direct experience. Yes, if I look down, I can see my legs, my knees, my feet. So part of it, so part of that experience is the experience of seeing. Now, if I touch the desk in front of me with my hands, then that's a sense of touch, and it's a kind of interaction between the desk and my fingers feel that, and the desk feels that. So that's a kind of it's an interaction. It's a sense of touch. Well, I can touch another part of my body. I can touch my shoulder. And that's another way I can sense a bit of my body that I can't actually see. I can sense it through touch. So that's the physical body. So in a way, it's almost like two separate realms. There's a kind of mental realm, which is the realm within which it's a part of the mental realm. It is the realm of bodily sensations. It's the realm within which those sensations occur. And then there's the physical realm, which is the all of the sensory perceptions that we have. So seeing and touching are the main ones. Well, I can hear my voice, so in a way, I'm partly hearing the body, I guess. So yes, there's a number of senses that can come into play there. So they're really. So that occurs. Those sensory senses are also taken into to the brain and presented to the mind. So it's really two subdivisions of mind, as it were. The realm of bodily sensations, the realm of sensory perceptions, but in a sense, there's not really a distinction between those two. It's a kind of artificial distinction that we make from an intellectual point of view, really. And it's the same distinction we make between mind and materiality, the physical world. It's the same, really, ultimately the same distinction as that. But it's an artificial distinction. It's an artificial superimposition of mind. Really, there's no distinction because everything is appearing in consciousness, and ultimately everything is united in consciousness. So what we mean by purification is that really what I was mentioning before with Eve, that we often quite relatively quickly get to a point where we understand that what we are is pure consciousness and not a body or a mind or anything else in the world, not an entity, not a separate entity in the world. So we understand that intellectually, but it takes a while for our body to recognize it. And so when we talk about purification in relation to the body, or what we're talking about is getting the body to understand what the mind knows, what the mind is sure about, because the body isn't sure about. And the way the purification works is to start. We start with our eyes closed, and we sense the subtle body, and we sense that it has no boundaries at all. It doesn't have any shape. It's not human shaped. The sum total of our bodily sensations is not human shaped. We can't say where it begins or ends. If I close my eyes, I put my hand out, and I feel the tingling where the nettle stung my fingers, and I've no idea where that is. It's not 2.5 feet away from me. I don't know where it is. If I, with my eyes open, if I look at my hand, then logically I say, "Oh, there's my hand, there's my finger, there's where the nettle stung it." But that's, that's not reality. That's just a model produced by mind. So when I just feel that sensation from the nettle, I don't know where it is. And what that says is we feel that the subtle body is with our eyes closed, we feel that the subtle body is our real body. It's we feel this is what I am. This subtle body, and that's the first step in purification. Because what it means is that instead of the body feeling cramped and I end at the skin, I end here, I end here, I end here. I don't. I'm somewhere. I'm somewhere out there. Don't know where, but I'm somewhere out there. So that's why it's a stepping stone to the ultimate purification, which is where we see that subtle body, we feel that it goes on forever, and we feel that that unity of the subtle body with the rest of the universe. That there's no place where we can say, this is the subtle body and that is the rest of the universe. There's no place like that. And that's, at that point, we say, well, my real body, so my real body is the world, because we feel, our eyes closed, we feel our body is this subtle body, but if it goes on forever, then the subtle body is the world.